Okay. So good evening everyone. Welcome to our Parents and Carers webinar. My name's Debbie Pavia and I'm the Research Manager at Skills Development Scotland. So we're really pleased you've joined us this evening to hear more about the work that we've been doing with young people and parents and carers and how your feedback helps shape and improve our services at SDS. So I'm joined by a few colleagues today. I've got Dr. Graeme Smith, who'll be talking about our recent research and what we've learned from young people and parents and carers like yourselves. I've got Grace Goodsir, who'll take us through the delivery side of things, looking at how our services can support you as parents and help you have conversations with your children or young people. And we've got Amber Beatson from our education team, who's here to support the discussion as well. And I'd also like to give you a special welcome to our sign language interpreter, Kira. So she'll be supporting us throughout today's session. So we're going to start with what you've told us and what young people have told us and around what you need from a career service and how you perceive our services and your thoughts about how we can support you. So I would say there's quite a lot of you joining us tonight, which is great. If I could ask any comments, questions or thoughts that you have to be added to the Q&A bar, I'll keep an eye on them as we go through the session and pick up some of the questions as we go. And we'll have a wee bit of time at the end as well to put some of the themed questions to our presenters. Just to let you know as well that the session is being recorded. We'll share the recording in a post-event pack as well as the presentation slides afterwards. So don't worry about taking notes or recording anything yourselves. And some of the questions that come up today as well, we'll answer in that post-event pack. So just to say thanks for giving us your time on a Thursday evening. We're really excited to share our insights and tell you more about our services. So I'll hand you over to my colleague, Graeme Smith, who'll start us off with the research.
Thanks, Debbie. So yeah, thanks again to everybody for joining the call. It's great to see so many people that's interested in the webinar. So my name's Graeme and I work for Skills Development Scotland. I work in the evaluation and research team. So I'm just going to start by outlining what we're going to be covering in today's session. So we've split this webinar into 3 parts. So in the first section, we'll look at some of the insights from the research that SDS undertakes around how young people make career choices. So for example, what influences young people's career decisions? What aspirations do young people have in terms of their future career? And what challenges do they face when they're thinking about their future career? In the second section, you hear some of the insights gathered from our parents and carers research about their experiences of career conversations with their child or young person. So for example, how much influence do parents and carers think they have on their child's career choices? How confident are they in discussing careers? And what are their views on the career services available to them and their child or young person that they support? And then finally, in the third section, you hear from an SDS careers advisor about the services that SDS offer and some practical ways that SDS can help support parents and carers navigate these important conversations they have with their child or young person. So there's lots to get through in the session, and as Debbie mentioned, there will be some time at the end for any questions. And of course, if you've got any comments, please put them in the chat as well as we're going through. So it's useful to make you aware of where all these insights are coming from. Where do we get this information? Within SDS, we have a programme of research that focuses on understanding key customer groups, such as young people and parents and carers. And it's really important to put the voice of these key customers within the delivery of career services. So for young people, we have 3 core research projects that gather the views of young people at different stages of their school and career journey. And I'll just briefly touch on what these are. So the first one is we've got a research that focuses on young people in the early stages of their school journey from S1 to S3. This research gives us insight into this younger age group and what influences them, how they think about their careers. And we received 700 responses from this research in 2025, so really robust sample. And that was across a number of local authorities in Scotland. The second project in our programme of research is our S4 to S6 research. This research gathers the views of nearly 9,000 senior phase pupils in Scotland, which to our knowledge is one of the largest projects with senior phase pupils nationally. This research explores senior phase pupils' experiences of the career services they've accessed in school, as well as their next steps and future aspirations. Our third research project with young people is our post-school research, So this research specifically focuses on the views of recent school leavers and asks them about the careers they see themselves in the future, what types of things they're looking for in a career, and also the barriers that they perceive when they're thinking about their future career. So it's capturing young people at different stages of their career journey. And then finally, another key customer group that we collect feedback on is parents and carers. So this research gathers the views of nearly 5,000 parents and carers across a wide range of topics, such as confidence in discussing careers with their child, as I mentioned before, their awareness of services available to them, and their satisfaction with these services. The insights gathered from these research projects help shape SDS services, and there's real value in what customers say about the services that they've accessed. This feedback is one of the reasons why we put on these webinars, because people have told us they want to hear more about the services available to them. It's worth pointing out that these research projects that I've outlined are highly collaborative, and we work with multiple organisations, such as the Scottish Government and many others, to deliver this research. The outputs from this research are published online, and I think we'll include a link in the chat to access these outputs if you did want to find out more information. And as I said, I'll be drawing from these sources and touching on some of the key findings from these projects as we go through the session. So we'll start by looking at what insights we gather from our young people research. So what can the research tell us about young people's career decision making? The first area we're going to cover is looking at who and what influences young people's career decisions. So what kind of factors are likely to influence young people when they're thinking about their future career? We asked young people to rate a list of potential factors that might influence them on a scale from not an influence to a great deal of influence. Down the left-hand side of the table, you can see a list of factors that can have an influence on young people. And the percentages that you can see are those of the young people that said that these have a particular influence. So there's various factors that young people say are an influence on their career decisions, but key among these are doing something they believe in, learning new skills or being good at something, and their interests, hobbies. So young people tell us that they tend to be very much influenced by internal factors that are personal to them when they're thinking about their career. They're influenced by doing something that they personally value, doing something that they think they're good at, and doing something they personally enjoy. But there are other factors that are also likely to influence young people's career decisions, which include the qualifications they achieved in school and the need to earn money. These are more external factors rather than personal factors. And although they score slightly lower than the more personal factors, they are obviously still highly influential on young people. So for example, the need to earn money is more of an influence or higher up this table for young people from the most deprived areas compared to those from the least deprived areas. So the order of these factors can change depending on background characteristics. But what we find is that these personal factors are highly influential for young people. We can also look at who, in terms of people, are likely to influence young people's career decisions. On the table, you can see a list of people that might have an influence on young people. And again, young people were asked to rate each of these influencers on a scale of not an influence to a great deal of influence. And again, the percentages are those that say that these factors are an influence. And what comes through strongly here from young people is that parents and carers are the biggest people influencer, and by a good distance. And this finding is one that comes through consistently in the research. Teachers, careers advisors and friends are also influential, but it's parents and carers that young people consistently say are the top influencer on their career decisions. And again, it's worth noting that the order of these influencers can also change when you look at different cohorts of young people. So for example, young people from more vulnerable backgrounds, such as those who are care experienced or from more deprived areas, are more likely to rate their careers advisor as highly influential. And in actual fact, for care experienced people, the careers advisor's one of the top influencers. So again, you find that background characteristics can also have an impact on who is influencing young people. But consistently, we see parents and carers are the top influencer on young people's career decisions, and that's according to young people themselves. So we've looked at who and what are likely to influence young people's career decisions. We can also look at what jobs and industries young people say they want to work in when they're thinking about their future career. So we asked young people in S4 to S6 what job or jobs they want to do in their future career. This was an open-ended question to give young people the space to describe in their own words what jobs they want to do. When we asked this question, something to keep in mind is that many young people mentioned more than one job or more than one area that they were considering. So we've themed these up into jobs or areas that young people mention into their broad areas or broad industries, if you like, and you can see them on the screen. And the bigger the bubble, the more jobs that were mentioned in this particular industry or area. So young people say they want to work in a variety of jobs and industries, but the most popular areas that they want to work in are medicine and health. So they mention jobs like nurse and doctor, dentistry, surgeon, or just medicine in general. The creative industries, so young people mention jobs like musician, artist, acting, film, theatre. And another big area that young people mention is construction and engineering. So they talk about jobs like engineer, or they're more specific, they maybe mention mechanical engineer. They'd say architect, construction, quantity surveyor. It's also worth noting that there are differences between males and females in the jobs that they want to do, where more males tend to want to work in construction and engineering jobs, whereas more females tend to want to work in medicine and health. Other areas that were commonly mentioned by young people were jobs in teaching and science and IT, jobs in manual labour and caring careers. But there is a wide variety of other jobs mentioned as well, which you can see, such as finance and journalism, aviation, psychology, and hair and beauty. So a wide range of jobs that young people mention. Another aspect to point out is that there were about 1 in 6 young people who said that they didn't know what they wanted to do as a career. So there is still a bit of uncertainty for some young people around what jobs they want to do. There was a recent report by the OECD that found that young people who are uncertain about their career path are less likely to progress into a positive destination after school. So it is important to recognise that young people who don't know what they want to do could potentially benefit from support and guidance in helping them to make a decision or maybe have a goal. It's also interesting to look at what types of attributes young people are looking for in a career. So what specific things are young people looking for in the jobs that they're interested in? Having these insights can help us to support young people in making informed choices that align with their values and aspirations that we know are really important to them. So we asked young people to select the factors that are most important to them in their future career from a list that you can see on the screen, and young people could select multiple options. What you can see is that there's several attributes that young people are looking for in their future career, but what comes through strongly among these is good pay, job satisfaction, and work-life balance. So young people are interested in jobs that offer competitive salaries and financial security, but they're also looking for careers where they'll be doing something meaningful that aligns with their personal interests or values. Young people also favour careers that won't overwhelm their personal life, and they do value time outside of the workplace and having that work-life balance. It's also interesting to look at differences between males and females and the types of attributes that they are looking for in a job. Although both males and females value good pay, males are more likely to favour job satisfaction than females, whereas females are more likely to want to work in a job that involves helping others in comparison to males. And this may explain why females tend to want to work in jobs in the medicine and health industry and in caring roles. So we've looked at what influences young people, the types of jobs that they want to do, and the types of things that they're looking for in a job. It's also important to understand the barriers that young people perceive when they're thinking about their future careers and the types of challenges that they expect to navigate when they're entering the world of work. So we asked young people what barriers could prevent them from making progress in their chosen career from the list that you can see on the screen, and young people again could select more than one. And what the research tells us is that there are various barriers that young people perceive in making progress in their career, but key among these is not having enough confidence in themselves, not having enough contacts or knowing the right people, and not having enough work experience. And these aspects tend to come through consistently in the research. We can also look at these figures broken down by young people who live in the most deprived and least deprived areas in Scotland. And to do this, we've used the Scottish Index of Multiple Deprivation, which is a tool officially used by the Scottish Government to identify and rank areas in Scotland according to levels of disadvantage. And what you can see here is that there's some variations and barriers for young people from the most and least deprived areas. So those from the most deprived areas, which is that kind of blue column, seem to perceive a broader range of barriers in their career and are more likely to report not having enough confidence, not enough jobs being available, and not earning enough money to live on as potential barriers. Those from the least deprived areas are more likely to be concerned with not having the right contacts or knowing the right people, and there being too much competition. So there are common barriers that young people identify, such as not having confidence and not having enough work experience. But there's also barriers that are unique to individuals with specific background characteristics. So given the barriers or challenges that young people are thinking about when they're considering their future career, it's really important to make sure that young people are happy with the career support that they receive in school. So we ask young people directly what they think of the career support that they have accessed. So in our research, we asked young people who have engaged with a careers advisor in school to tell us, on a scale of 1 to 10, to what extent do they agree or disagree with various statements about the conversations that they've had with their careers advisor. And this chart on the screen presents the average score out of 10 for each of these statements. What you can see is that young people really value the support they receive from careers advisors, particularly that their careers advisor listened and valued their ideas. Young people also agree that their careers advisor directed them to other sources of information, understood what support they needed, and were encouraging about them taking the next steps and exploring their future career options. So the data tells us that young people really value this sort of one-to-one support that they get from speaking with a careers advisor in school. One of the main goals of one-to-one conversations is to develop young people's career management skills. Career management skills are the abilities and knowledge that help young people to plan, develop and navigate their careers effectively. And I know that Grace is going to talk about this more in the session later. So we asked young people directly, to what extent has the support they received from SDS helped develop these career management skills? And what we find is that young people highly agree that their one-to-one sessions with a careers advisor helped them to find and use career information easily, understand how their learning and experiences can help them make career choices, understand their strengths and achievements, and how all of these things can help them to make informed career decisions. So this feedback tells us that young people who engage with the career service not only highly value it, but they report that these engagements are effective in helping them develop their career management skills as well. So we've looked at some of the insights from our research with young people. Moving on to the second section of this webinar, we can also provide some insights that we've gathered from our research with parents and carers. We can start by looking at how influential parents and carers think they are on their child or young person's career decisions. So previously we showed that young people are highly likely to say that parents and carers are a major influence and are consistently the top people influencer on their career decisions. So we asked parents and carers a similar question. So to what extent do you feel you influence your child's choices about their career and learning options? And parents and carers were asked to give a score from 1, which is no influence at all, to 10, which is a great influence. You can see from the distribution graph that parents and carers most frequently gave a score of either 6 or 7, with an average score of 6.4 out of 10 in terms of influence, which isn't particularly high. What this tells us is that although young people cite parents and carers as a major influence, parents and carers are underestimating the influence that they have on young people's career decisions. We also ask parents and carers to rate from 1 to 10 how confident they are in talking to their child or young person about their future careers and learning options. And the findings are positive. Parents and carers score about 8 out of 10 in terms of how confident they are in discussing careers. If parents and carers said that they were not particularly confident in discussing careers, so if they scored less than 5 on that previous question, We then asked a follow-up question about what would help them feel more confident. As you can see on this chart, parents and carers said that finding out about different learning routes or pathways into careers, knowing how to access career information, and improving knowledge about different types of careers would help them to increase their confidence when having these types of career conversations with their child or young person. So similar to the questions we ask of young people, we ask parents and carers about their views of the career services that they or their child or young person have accessed. If a parent or carer has accessed one or more of SDS Career services, then we ask them to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how satisfied they were with the services that they've used. What we found was the scores were positive. Parents and carers reported high levels of satisfaction with various SDS services. The results show that all key services scored well. Careers appointments attended with a child and parent and carer webinars were highly valued, indicating that direct engagement and interactive support are particularly appreciated. Online resources such as My World of Work and apprenticeships.scot also received positive feedback, showing that digital tools remain an important part of the service offer. And the SDS Results Helpline was also highly rated, suggesting that personalised support during critical decision-making moments, such as exam results, has a significant impact on parents' satisfaction. And finally, we asked parents and carers what SDS does well, and parents and carers could respond in their own words. And there was about 1,500 comments for this question. We themed these comments up, and the main themes centred around SDS providing support to young people. So parents and carers said that SDS provides opportunities for young people, advocates for alternative pathways, offers CV and application support, and helps those with additional support needs while maintaining a good relationship with schools. They also mentioned that SDS provides effective careers advice and guidance. So they highlighted that SDS gives valuable advice on option choices, practical guidance, and general careers advice that they found helpful. Parents and carers were also asked how SDS could improve the services. And again, there was around 1,500 comments. We themed these up again. And the themes centred around raising awareness of SDS services. Some parents felt that SDS could enhance promotion of its services to both parents and young people through increased advertising. Some parents also said they would like additional resources about SDS services and career options, including information on apprenticeships, university pathways, and other careers. Another theme that parents and carers mentioned was around enhanced communication and contact. So some parents and carers said that they would like more communication using multiple channels such as email or links to websites and school-based updates to stay informed and engaged. So hopefully that's given you some insight into some of the research that we do. I'll pass you over to Grace, who's going to talk to you more about the SDS support and resources that are available. So thanks, Grace. I think you're on mute.
It's all right, typical. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing the findings with us, Graeme. I'm just going to talk about the support that we offer in school and kind of beyond school. And I'm also going to cover some information and resources that can help you have career conversations at home. So I work as a careers advisor in school, supporting pupils throughout their time within school. Skills Development Scotland is the national skills agency, and we deliver Scotland's all-age career service. So working with our partners, we do aim to ensure that every individual has the skills and the confidence to achieve their full potential. Our careers advisors are professionally qualified experts and in every every secondary state school in Scotland. We also work in community venues across the country and SDS centres, as well as we have a free phone line, a helpline number, and we have our careers website, which is My World of Work, which we're going to go into more detail on later on. There'll be information provided in the follow-up guide as well with that. So let me just go to talk to you about the support that careers advisors offer within school. So we take a coaching approach and to deliver career guidance, and we work at a pace for the young person that we're supporting. So we encourage them pupils to be actively involved when they come and meet with us, and we try and help them to see what that they need to do to make an informed career decision for themselves, rather than us just telling them what to do or doing things for them. So we support young people from in their primary 7 into S1 transition stage, right through to their school journey, including mainly at their key decision times, such as option choices and what they're going to do when they leave school. So we do this a lot through class group sessions, we mostly through PSE classes, and we drop in and do one-to-one discussions as well. We are offering one-to-one support during their BGE stage, which is S1 to S3, as well as offering a one-to-one session within their senior phase, which is S4 onwards. So as we heard from Graeme earlier, you were the key influencers in the career decision making. So you have the opportunity to join in the careers conversations that we're having with your young person. And to be able to do that and to find out more, just contact your school. They'll be able to put you in contact with the careers advisor. So our support continues after school, because we do understand that people will need support at different times within their journey. And this we do offer an all-age service to ensure that this support stays in place. So at ESDS, we want to support and navigate the changing world that we're living in. And we feel excited about the future and the opportunities that are coming. Advancements within technology have created new job opportunities, and this is just set to continue. Jobs like app developer and ethical hacker and energy engineer are all things that didn't even exist 15 years ago. So there are more routes and pathways into work now. So for example, the introduction of graduate apprenticeships has changed, and we can, graduate apprenticeships as well as changes where you can work, for example, working from home. So we are also seeing more people changing jobs throughout their careers and more opportunities to upskill and to reskill. So change can be exciting and it can lead to a lot of new opportunities and possibilities. And just to let you know that we are here to support you and your young person to feel confident navigating all of these changes throughout their career journey, not just in school. Our approach is to equip people with the skills that they need to thrive and be successful. Although we can't predict the future of work, we can do our best to prepare young people for it. And we do that by helping them develop their career management skills. So this is the career management skills. So career management skills are skills for life that empower us to understand ourselves and the opportunities around us. So they're grouped under the themes of self, strengths, horizons, and networks. So self is about understanding what you like, what your interests are, your values, and what's important to you. Your strengths is about understanding what you're good at and being able to develop this further and to learn from the different experiences around you. Your horizons is about understanding what your routes and pathways and options that might be available to you. And then your networks is about understanding who can help you and what support they can have on your decisions and your actions. So reflecting back on the information that Graeme shared, I was interested to hear that what would make parents and carers feel more confident when discussing future careers and learning options with their children. So I would like to spend some time talking about some of the resources that can help you when you're finding out about learning routes and pathways into careers to help improve your knowledge and confidence in this area. So we will explore some of the support and information available on our careers website, My World of Work, and our apprenticeship website, which is apprenticeships.scot, as well as exploring the Scottish Credit Qualification Framework. So let's just start with the careers website. So this is My World of Work. So My World of Work is packed full of tools and articles and advice and information to help you and your young person with their career planning and decision making. So at the top of the My World of Work homepage, you will see the different drop-down menus at the top. So you've got Explore Careers. As you can see here, it's a good place to start. So from here, you can select job profiles. So we have over 600 job profiles to view. I'm just going to show you this section. This is it here. So you can search through job profiles in different ways. So for example, if your young person has an idea that they would like to explore, you can use the keyword search if you want to understand more about the range of options. Then you can search through the A to Z or job categories. There are also some videos and information to inspire different ideas. So here's an example of a job profile for an AR/VR programmer who creates digital experiences that make it possible for users to explore our virtual world. So all of the job profiles on My World of Work contain the same type of information, as you can see here. This section of the job profile is aimed to bring the job to life by describing the job, as well as tasks that you may do as part of the job. There is also an indication of the salary and information on different related careers, the options to research relevant courses, links to explore more information about this job are there as well. You can also click on the top skills section to understand more about the skills required for this job. And then there's a Getting In tab as well to help you find out about routes available within this career. Okay, so here is the Getting In page for the AV/VR programmer. So you can see that there is information on useful subjects, qualifications that would be helpful to have, and there's some other information on things that you would also need, for example, work experience or any ongoing training that would be needed. So the qualification section is great to understand the various routes available into careers and what types and levels of qualifications that may be required. So for many jobs, there are multiple routes into a role, and for others, there may only be a few. We also have Option Choice tool, which can help to highlight the links between options, the choices and career options. And we also recommend that you use this for course searches on My World of Work, as well as the college university websites to find out specific entry requirements for courses. So another part, I also wanted to highlight that there are 17 different industries on the My World of Work page. So we heard some of the industries pupils are interested in, and these pages can help you learn more about them and links to other trusted websites that will take you to. So exploring the industries of interest can also help young people to learn more about the opportunities that they may not be as familiar with. For example, a young person might associate construction with joinery and health with nursing. But do they know the wider range of opportunities available? So such as green jobs within construction, like a solar PV installer, or are they maybe curious about industries that can help expand their awareness of opportunities that are out there? So there are lots and lots of tools and quizzes on My World of Work that can help with career conversations. So Animal Me is a fun personality quiz that I would recommend you doing together. It really helps people to think more about who they are and what's important to them. So for some young people, talking about what they're good at can be quite tough. And the strengths quiz can be a really useful way to help them feel confident about themselves and about their strengths. Young people may also be using some of these tools in school already. So you could maybe check in and see if they would like to share their achievements already that they've done, and have a look through the results with them. So going back to the homepage of My World of Work, there's also a section on getting a job, which then highlights CVs, application forms, interview advice, as well as we've got a job search function on there as well. There's so much information on My World of Work to support your young person, from thinking about themselves to understanding opportunities to helping them applying for opportunities. There is also a dedicated area for parents and carers. So this part is offering information to support and to help you have an effective career conversation with your young person, as well as signposting you to other resources and support that's available out with. So another useful resource to highlight is our apprenticeships.scot website. So again, we've heard from the research awareness of apprenticeships are growing. However, parents and carers would like to learn more about these pathways. So this website offers information on foundation apprenticeships, which is available through school timetables. And then you've got modern apprenticeships and graduate apprenticeships, which are enabling people to work and to learn up to university degree level. So there is information on these types of apprenticeships available. There's apprenticeship stories as well as live vacancies. So if you do have somebody who's looking for apprenticeships, that's a really good place to check out. So when I meet with parents and carers, they often ask me the questions about qualifications and how it links in with each other and various pathways into learning. So I always tend to go to this here as a way of explaining it. Because when I was at school, I studied standard grades. So it can be quite confusing when the names of qualifications have changed and there's no routes into learning, and everything's kind of changing up. So I find this diagram from the Scottish Credit and Qualification Framework. I just find it really useful. So it really shows the qualifications that you can gain in school, the ones you can gain in college and university, and work-based learning through apprenticeships. So you can see from the first column that relates to national qualifications and hires. So these qualifications can be studied in school. And then the table shows that these qualifications and how they link in with the SCQF levels on the left-hand side. So an example is National 4 equals an SCQF level 4. So it equals the same. So the qualification could be followed by a National 5, which could then lean into a higher at level 6. So the next column along shows qualifications such as national certificate courses, which are, or higher national certificates, which can be called HNCs, and higher national diplomas, which are HND courses. So these qualifications can be studied at college. So to give you an example of the levels, a higher national certificate, which is an HNC, is pitched at SCQF level 7. So that is this equivalent to qualifications at an advanced higher level. It's also the equivalent of your first year of university within Scotland. So people can access HNC courses by completing a range of hires on relevant SCQF level 6 courses in college, such as NCs or NQs. And you will also see the column showing qualifications of higher education institutions, like honours degrees that will obviously go up to SAQF level 10. So the final column shows apprenticeships, an SVQ such as modern apprenticeships, technical apprenticeships and graduate apprenticeships. And they're all up at level SCQF level 9, 10 and 11. So this diagram is really useful to understand the various pathways available to pupils and individuals and the different things that they can think about when what's right for them, and also highlights that there's various ways to progress through the SCQF levels. It isn't just within school. So I wanted to reflect on the thoughts of the young people about what they found supportive to start their career conversation. So the National Parents Forum of Scotland previously asked young people for their comments and suggestions as to how best to help their course and their career choices. So there were really mainly positive responses. And when looking at these, we can see that young people on a whole were asking for help, reassurance and encouragement. So here's some quotes here that they've gave us. So they were looking for help to explore possibilities and to help us say out loud what we really would like to do. Help us to think about the requirements that are for a job. Help us to have the skills and explore our options. Encourage us to do more work experience. Encourage us to keep as many options open as possible and to think about what we really enjoy. Encourages us to have our own ideas. Ask questions like, what do you like doing? And if you could choose any career, what would you choose? And help us to find out what will make us good at our jobs. So hopefully this presentation has helped you understand more about the services and some of our support and resources to help you have a career conversation with your young person. So we've got some top tips here. So engaging in conversations with your young person. So it may be talking about what they like or what they don't like, or checking in every now and again, just to find out if they've got any new thoughts about the careers that they would maybe like to explore. Career conversations can help young people feel curious and excited about their future options. To explore jobs and training or course ideas together. So finding this information out on My World of Work and college websites and things, but doing it together helps. Encouraging them to aim for what they want, to find the right information and how to get there. And being enthusiastic about their ideas. So remembering that all ideas are a starting point and it's somewhere where you can work from there. So there's a wee suggestion here on a way you can have maybe an informal conversation at home. So by using maybe a dice to select questions and maybe taking it in turns to answer questions on the side, it can make it a bit more fun and kind of takes the pressure off it from being a serious conversation. So asking questions like maybe what makes you happy, and then asking them to describe 3 things that they're good at, and things that you can both think about yourselves and your strengths in a more relaxed, calm way. You can ask about what their dream job is, or ask if they're not sure, that ensuring them that there's no right or wrong answer. It's just to help structure the conversation. So we will include all of this information as well as the useful links and information in the follow-up guide that is going to get sent out. So thank you so much for listening. You'll see on the screen now there are various ways in which you can keep up to date with what we're doing and how you can get in touch for more information and support. So Please don't worry if you aren't able to take down all these details. They are going to be included in the information email that we will send out after the session, as well as the link to the recording. The SDS School Careers Advisor in your young person's school can be reached by contacting the school directly. Or you can visit the careers website on myworldofwork.co.uk. Or you could find your nearest SDS centre or community venue at skillsdevelopmentScotland.co.uk/connect-SDS. Or you can call us on 0800 917 8000. And that line's open Monday to Friday, 9 AM till 5 PM. You can join us on Facebook, just searching Facebook/myworldofwork, or you can come over and follow us on X at skillsdevscot. So we just want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And if you'd like to find out more information about how Skills Development Scotland can support your young person, but we do hope you find this useful and informative.